Hello and welcome everyone to Valentin Consulting's YouTube channel. I am Dr. Daisy Valentin, the CEO of Valentin Consulting LLC, and I am so thrilled to invite you here to our dynamic YouTube channel where we have exclusive guest speakers every week bringing us some great information, their high insights and discussions about everything they do in their community and their passion. And today is nothing different. We have some wonderful, wonderful women that are exclusively out here in the real estate world in our Minnesota area, and they are our guest speakers today. I want to welcome Marina and Estefy, and they are the bilingual realtors. Welcome, ladies. Thank you so much for being here on our guest YouTube channel series. Can you both just briefly tell me a little bit about yourselves and probably a little bit how you both came together to be this dynamic duo?
Yes.
Thank you so much, Dr. Lacey. We're so happy to be invited to your show.
Yes. Hi.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here. It's an honor. I guess I'll take the question. So I myself started real estate a little bit 6 years ago. So I have a background in communications, scientific communications and technical communications. And I was always working in the end, and I wanted a little bit more exposure with people. People are my power, my energy. And so life took me through a lot of processes, worked a couple of years in communication, and then decided to go in real estate. And the team that I joined, I met Marina a little over 6 years ago.
Awesome. Yep. Now, Marina, tell us, how did you get started?
For me, I've been in Minnesota for about 26 years now, since a very long time. And I got here from Argentina. In Argentina, I was teaching English as a foreign language, and I came here to the United States to help a Spanish teacher. So I was a teacher for about 18, 20 years, and then I started to transition into real estate.
Wow. But okay, now my question is, how did y'all get together? Like, what made you guys become this powerful bilingual duo in the real estate community here? Because people want to know.
Well, both of us had the same beliefs. I think Marina being a teacher, education was power for both of us, and community and collaboration and communication was super important for the both of us. So we started collaborating separate agents quite a lot, right? We were helping each other because, we all have lives and things happen. And little by little, we started joining, and we could notice, and people could notice, that us together were more powerful than separate. Mm-hmm. And then we have different skills, and we complement each other quite a bit. So yeah, it's pretty good.
So how did you guys decide to focus on, like serving the bilingual community? Like, is it specific? Is it just, people that don't just speak English? What enhance your, passion, right? Because there has to be a passion there for you guys to just hone in just on serving the bilingual community. Who wants to answer that?
Yes, you. I think that when you said passion, that I can speak for both of us. We're very passionate about what we do, and our goal is to serve the Spanish-speaking community and make them feel like at best all time. And it came, I think, also speaking for both of us as our own experience when we purchased our homes. I mean, I had a great realtor and lender, but I didn't understand everything. I didn't understand to the fullest. So there were some gaps there. Everything went well, but we saw, well, there has to be more for the people that really don't understand any English or maybe feel comfortable speaking in their own language. So that's what we said, well, let's do something about this.
Yeah, definitely la cultura habla, right?
Yes. And I would tell you, even though, being bilingual, and understanding the language, right? Mm-hmm. And me coming from an area where I used to be a mortgage broker, I used to work in the real estate world, and I see the challenges. So I really I commend you for that, because it is hard, even for someone that speaks the language, right? To
Yeah.
try to find a home when you're looked down on because you're, your culture, you're Hispanic, you're Latin, or you don't, they just assume that you don't understand. And I think that's some of the things that is really powerful too.
Yeah.
So because you came and said this about cultura, I really like that. What are some of the biggest barriers that Hispanic buyers face? How do we help them overcome those challenges? Especially, like, we know that not every realtor, right, is gonna be the best fit, for that person, right? Right. There's, you guys are this dynamic duo, but and I know you love everyone, but sometimes there is challenges where, you know, what happens? Like, what happens that? What are some of the barriers that people face being those Hispanic buyers?
Well, first of all, I don't know if you know this, both Marina and I are part of NAREP, the National Association of Hispanic Real Estate Professionals.
Mm-hmm.
So we see a lot, we advocate a lot for access to credit. And I think it's one of the biggest things. Misinformation about how to build credit, one of them. I had many stories of people borrowing their credit and then affecting them on the purchase of their home. Like, yeah, you're helpful and you have a big heart and you want to help somebody, but then you're not thinking in the future, I want to buy a home, and now there's debt. There could be damages in your credit. There could be a lot of things like that. So definitely one of the biggest, like I said before, education is the bigger power. Inform yourself. There's many free classes out there where you can learn a lot. And they are very empowering, and they give you the power as the consumer, as the buyer, as the person that is going to make this big change, because you're not buying a pair of shoes, right? You're buying one of the biggest investments on your life. So education and interview those agents, interview the lenders, and make sure that the personalities do align, because you're going to be spending a lot of time with them.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Absolutely.
Right.
I do agree.
I was going to add to that. Like Estefy said, just inform yourself and educate yourself. Very important in our communities. A lot of people think that the realtor is the same as the lender. And it's just very important to make the difference. A lender is a person who's going to guide them with the finances, financial process. We don't do that. We help you negotiate. We help you find the homes, tour the homes, give you advice on the home, on the property, but not on finances.
And that's really important because I'm an accounting and finance person. Okay. And I did have my mortgage license for many years. And I noticed that pattern where, even in my world, as the accounting world, people think, oh, you're a tax person. Well, yeah, no, I'm not just a tax. There's different types of accounting, and when it comes to homes, it's the same thing, right? Like, your lender's your lender. And it's really important to understand, what you need, because it's not just on a home. It's also when you're trying to buy a business, commercial property as well. And I'm assuming you guys just dip in real estate, but you probably dip in commercial too. I'm not sure. You'll talk a little bit about that, but it's really important to kind of be educated. Yes. Education is key here, and that's the problem. They go to their realtor, think the realtor has all the cheeses and cakes, which you guys show education, right? You guide them to where they need to go to find the education to be financially set, right? Like you said, with credit and stuff like that. Not that you're the lender, but you have connections with people that can teach them how to be established. Now, that is something that I learned years ago, okay? Years ago as a mortgage broker. And one thing that I learned was there was many people, and this is why I say that back in 2009, things crashed for the industry, because many mortgage brokers were not educating their clients. They just wanted to make money. Okay. So a lot of people were going into foreclosure, and most of them were Latinos and Hispanics, because they were looking at más arriba de lo que podían tener, more than what they could have in their pocket. So with that being said, okay, with that being said, so tell us, what other pieces of advice would you wish more buyers could understand, other than just the credit, right? How the home buying process really is. You just say it's an extensive process. You
Yeah.
did kind of give an idea of, say, hey, make sure you interview those people. But what else would you state is their first step? Like, it's not just about, taking a class. It's also a first step. Like,
Yeah.
be prepared, right? Like, what do they need to prepare to think about, like, mentally, physically, like, what do they need to prepare for?
Oh, that's a
Well,
question, Daisy.
look, mentally to begin with, I would say patience, and because they're going to need to present and find and research a lot of documents from the lender perspective. So they will need to, they need patience, find those documents as they ask you, send them right away. And patience, because depending on the market, right now we're going into the high season for us in real estate, and you need to be prepared that you might have to, make more than one offer.
Yeah.
So it's starting to get busy again.
Yeah, definitely be prepared. And one thing is to understand that actually we got your back and we're doing the research, and houses come in the market little by little, and to understand that your first home might not be your dream home, right? But it's definitely a huge, huge step moving forward. I have a lot of people I talk to that are renters that have never imagined themselves purchasing, because they never had that conversation with anybody that it is a possibility, right? And so, like Marina says, patience is number one, I think, and another one is being ready to make a decision. Right now, we are still in a multiple offer scenario, and we are still seeing people having to make decisions fast. So we call the listing agent, and they're like, "Okay, we have 2 offers in hand." So now it's like, cannot wait. People want to wait. So make sure that if you love something, take the leap, because it might not be there a couple hours from now.
The other thing that I seen, and I don't know if this is something that you can, like, hone in on, is also making sure they know to tell you what they would like.
Yes.
Like you said, they can't have their dream home right this second, right? But what if they can have a goal for that dream home, right? And it's really important to tell your realtor, because I just recently bought my townhome a year ago. Okay. I've been trying to buy a home for like 17 years, didn't find the right person until recently. I didn't know you guys yet. Okay. And then I found someone. But anyway, so make sure you know these ladies, okay, before you find a home. It won't wait 17 years. But anyway, my question is that, when they want something and they know what they like or they want, we've all been there, right? Even if it's small, like, know what you want, because and let your realtor know that. Don't waste their time looking at things that you don't want, because that's the thing. And be specific, right? Like, you are the professionals in that world, right? But if they're not specific on knowing what they want or what they're looking for you to be able to say, hey, I think this would suit you. Hey, I think this would suit you. But also be prepared that once you know that offers is going to go, don't think you could change your mind that quickly. You know what I mean? Like, this is from my experience. I give my experience because we all go through this. Like, everyone goes through this at some point in their life. And once you do it once, then you already have, like, you become like a little expert in there. But what are some of those things that people make mistakes? Like, you see buyers and sellers make a lot of mistakes, and how can they avoid them? And I feel like one of those is making sure your realtor, like you said, interview them, but making sure that they're working for you, right? You don't want a realtor that does the selling and the buying. That, for me, I don't think that's cool. I think if you want a realtor, you want the realtor that's your realtor, right? That they don't have both sides, because then it's not going to be in your best interest. That's just me. That's just my opinion. So tell me, what are some of those mistakes that you see?
Oh, research the area. Research the area that you're going to live in, right? like I said, drive there during the day, drive there during the night. Make sure that whatever you're looking for, what your needs are, right? Day to day could be anything. You understand the area, that you understand the drives that you're taking and all that, because once you make an offer, you can change anything about the house inside. You can change colors, design, and everything, but location, that's something that you cannot change. So yeah, research your area, communicate with us, have your wants and needs list, because they're different, right? I want this, but I really need this. And this we can concentrate a lot. Maybe you can make changes later to make it perfect, but definitely concentrate on your needs versus your wants a little bit more than that.
So what is your sense when someone says, "Hey, I would like new construction." Like, I want a brand new home. Right? Because a lot of times we as Latinos are told we can't have that home. I was one of them. Okay? And it's not about you don't have good credit. It's not about you don't have the funds, right? How do you go about saying, "Hey, I can help you get that home"?
That's a good point that you're making here, because that happens a lot. People that think, oh no, I can't buy a home, I can't buy this. No, well, let's do the first step, which is talk to a lender to see, because you might be surprised. We had many stories where people were surprised. They're like, oh, I can buy that? Yes, you can. Yes, you can. And with a new construction, don't get discouraged, because it's buying like new construction or pre-existing construction. It's the same process. You can everybody can work hard on your credit, uh, be smart with your finances, and it's possible. We've seen it many, many, many times, and we want to keep seeing that, because that's just for our communities. It's just building that generational wealth. So, maybe children don't need to start over because the parents have a legacy for them. That's what we want to see and create and establish in our Latino community.
Like Marina says, we don't want people to just buy the house. We want people to keep the house, to maybe use that house as investment, as a step to the second home. And there are many different steps that they can take to maybe, man, we had a client that was like, oh my God, this is moving too fast. 2 weeks ago, we didn't think we were capable of buying, and in 2 weeks we're closing. Like, you don't understand.
That happened to me. I was like, I turned around and it's like, we're closing. We need this. We need this. I'm like, what? What are you talking about? Like, I was like, no. What do you say? Like, no. Because it was taking so long, and people need to be prepared, right? People need to be prepared because it happens in a blinking of eye, and then you're like, oh my gosh, and it's amazing that you say that it doesn't matter if it's a home that's already existing, a new construction, whatever it is. If they have the right lender, right? Also, they have to interview lenders, right? And they have the right lender, they have the right resources, they will be able to do that. But even if they can't do it right now, you educate them to say, hey, this didn't happen right now, but hey, in 6 months, if you do what it's asked and you take upon this, in 6 months, you could be this, have this, you know what I mean? So it prepares them, right? Now, there's something fun that you ladies do, and I'm so excited to kind of talk about this a little bit, and it's women empowering women, a different kind of networking. And if you're not out there reaching out to these ladies, going to these networks, you need to know that there's not just any networking. There's all kinds of networking out there. And why is it so important for you to support women, not just in real estate, but in leadership, bringing and hosting this networking event, which I love, because we see a taste of everybody, everybody there engaging, and different women finding you, and you guys are involved in different things. You said you're involved in that organization, right? That's just for realtors, but now you're bringing that taste, something different. Now tell us, how did you get inspired by this? And tell women like how they can connect.
Yeah, for sure. Marina and I were talking about when we arrived here to Minnesota, right? I didn't know anybody. My husband is from here, from Minnesota, and I wanted a connection with my Latinas at the beginning, right? We have a sazon that we can't find
Yes,
any. So
absolutely.
it took me 15 years to build community. 15 years to build community, right? And we didn't want that for other people. And we wanted to say, hey, let's bring a group of ladies together. There is really no agenda other than maybe a little bit of a learning at the beginning. And the agenda is to create friendships and connections people haven't imagined before. I mean, inside those events, we've seen friendships being built. We've seen people fix their credits because there is a lady that was helping them fix credits. Obviously, we have to say we've seen people buy houses, uh, build build businesses and stuff. So we really like to connect and just the friendships.
Mm-hmm.
It's really
So
great because, oh, sorry, go ahead.
no, I was gonna say that just kind of what something that goes along with that is that something that we thought and we with Estefy and Marina Bilingual Realtors do is like the unión hace la fuerza.
Mm-hmm.
It's like together we go further.
Mm-hmm.
And we see that and we know that as a truth. We've experienced it, the two of us, and now we're thinking about adding more people to our teams, and we know that and being to these events where it's just sometimes like as if you say between Latinas, it's kind of hard to go to a networking event, a more serious networking event when you don't know anybody. It's not the easiest, it takes some determination and but so we thought, well, how about if we do this a little more just different? Just no, we are not making you do anything. Just go, talk, relax. We have a few questions, maybe just to push it a little bit in the sense of everybody has an ask. Everybody can say, don't feel weird if you're saying, oh, having this client would help my business. So everybody's exchanging the same information. And then, of course, there's always music and some
Food,
entertainment after food. Yes,
good
yes.
food.
So yes, so it's we I don't know, we had great events, and people are giving us great feedback too.
And I've been to your events, so I know. I've been to two of them so far. They've been amazing. But what I really like about it is, like you said, you have probably built relationships with these ladies that either purchased a home or own a business, or from buying a home, they have a business and don't know the situation, but you can see their passion when they come to the networking event, the connection. Not only do they have with you and looking for the connection with other women, and that's really great. So, if you're out there and you're a leader, we're going to be putting their information in the comments here. So if you want to reach out to them and say, hey, I would like to be part of that next event. We don't know where they're having the next one. I hope it's soon. But it was really nice because the last one you had, you geared it around the holiday, which was really nice because it brought all the women together to say, hey, we never have a Valentine's. We have a Galentine's event. So that was really good. And I'm going to shift it a little bit here because I know that your ultimate goal, right, when it comes to impacting your community through real estate industry, not, and you're saying that education is the key, and we know it is, right? We know that we need to know that everyone out here has to be educated. So what other goals do you have in mind for the future other than just that? What are you looking for? What kind of impacts are you seeing or wanting to see, especially in your industry, so other women like yourselves can come together and tackle this future goal? What is that ultimate goal?
For sure. I think Marina has mentioned it a little bit a little while ago. We are in a growth mindset, and we are growing our team. So if anybody's interested of joining us, we have created a big partnership with a bigger team, and we are doing the Spanish speaking, a variation of this team. And We would love to hire people, empower women and men too, right? Not only the ladies.
Yes, yes.
But growing our team is one of the biggest goals this year. And of course, keep helping families. There is a lot of misinformation. There is a lot of fear going around and around the real estate market. And we want to be keep helping people. If you're not ready right now, it's okay. You can still talk to us. Don't be afraid of approaching somebody, because we can guide you on the steps that you be ready. Actually, Daisy, I have a story. I have a client of ours a while back reaches out, and she's like, oh, my boyfriend and I want to buy, but my credit's pretty bad. I have no credit. And I was like, no, no worries. Let's connect you with a lender. The lender was like reviewing, and she's like, oh, you have to pay this. You have to move this, like guiding them on how to fix their credit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. She thought she was going to buy a year from now.
Yeah.
She bought within 3 months.
Amazing.
Yes. So when we don't understand the documentation, the numbers that we're seeing, it seems very scary, right?
Mm-hmm.
So talk to the professionals. They are there for a reason. Most of them won't charge you for consultations or guidance, right? So we are here to support.
Right.
Go ahead.
I said we can connect you with people that don't charge you. I just want to say that. Go ahead.
Well, just FYI, they shouldn't be charging to just, just to see, briefly look at their information, because I used to be a mortgage broker.
Yes.
And they shouldn't charge. The only thing they would be charging for is for their credit report, and they don't even have to charge for that. They can just ask them to go on Credit Karma or something like that. So I usually tell people, I'm like, hey, the Credit Karma doesn't give you the full picture, but it gives you some picture. Like it gives you because I use that at first, but I used to be a mortgage broker. So I kind of know where the points are and where they fall and things like that. So I agree with you. It's really important for individuals in our community. Now, how bringing back, because we know we're going through a lot of crisis right now in our community. We're going with the government. Okay. How is our situation with immigration affecting our real estate?
I think that people are more hesitant, of course, because, like you said, the situation it's putting some pressure on certain visa status or the status in general, and people they're concerned, they're scared, and so that's what we are seeing. We haven't seen a complete stop in our community, far from it, but people are scared. They're very they're thinking about it. Let's say they're hesitant. Yes.
Yeah, I was just going to say they're hesitant. So how do you go about like educating or guiding someone that says, hey, I'm being impacted by the situation. I own a home, right? What do they need to do? Do you know where you can guide them, where you can lead them? Let's say they are impacted. Let's say they were, having to relocate back to their country.
Right.
What happens to their property?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I can take this one. I actually had a conversation with a friend of mine. The first thing that we can advise is talk to a lawyer. Immigration lawyers and lawyers know what the recommendations are, considering leaving power of attorneys. You can still keep the property here, but you have to make a plan that works for you. Right. So talk to a lawyer, talk to your financial entity, and make sure that you're following steps. There is people out there that are here to protect you, that are here to help you out. There's a lot of realtors. There's like 22,000 here in Minnesota. There's one thing that you can smell, and you can tell permission breath, right?
Yes.
You can tell really hard if they are pushing you to sell without offering you these other options, that connecting with a lawyer, connecting with people, you're going to tell. So inform yourself, because we cannot tell you exactly what to do, because we don't know each person's specific case.
Correct.
But getting informed, there is lawyers that are doing conversations for free too. There's a lot of organizations that are helping write power of attorneys for free, not only for homes, but for other decisions that they will have to make to protect their families.
That's amazing. So that's why I wanted to bring that little conversation up, because I knew someone was going to say, "Hey, why didn't they talk a little bit about what this is going on?" Um, we want them to know that you are informed, that if something happens, that we can offer them and share, guide them to the right organization. Like Opal, Cruz, different organizations out there. Those are just to name a few that we all are supporting, and the community, I believe so, right? The ladies
Yes.
know all these different organizations out there. And is there anything else happening that you guys want to share before we end our call today, our session today?
People think the market is going to crash.
It's not.
It's not. So you lived through the 2008, 2009, but one of the things that was happening back then is there was a lot of listings versus little buyers, right?
Yes.
Now we're still in the opposite. They were in a buyer market where buyers could go and choose and do whatever they wanted. Now we're still in a seller's market. I think we're still starting to see a little bit of one leveling soon, but the market is not going to crash. So if you're waiting for interest rates to drop or for the house prices
Market
to drop,
to go down.
you are going to be sitting and waiting for a long time.
Yeah, we have
Go ahead.
we have statistics and numbers that we can show you how if people that bought a house 20 years ago, they still made money no matter what they went through, like ups and downs of the market, they still made money. So we can show you, we can work numbers with you.
Ooh, let's share. Talking about statistics, I want to share one. Well, two. 70% of first-time home buyers 2040 are going to be Hispanic or Latinos.
70?
70%.
Imagine the power that the Latinos have. That sometimes people are calling that we're the sleeping giant, el gigante dormido, and it's time for us to wake up, right?
Yes. We're going to be more not only purchasing but also investing, because that's the thing, is that they kept us in the dark of stating that, like you mentioned, we're educating our community now. We're educating our community on what they have an opportunity of doing. I'm in the field of educating the community in their accounting and finance, right? In their business decisions, even in educating them, because many times they feel that when they purchase a home, it's an asset, but it's not, it's a liability. And I tell them, if you want to have a building or a purchase, a home, buy another one and let it pay itself. That's an asset, because you won't, as long as you're owing something, you don't own it.
Not yet.
The lender owns it and the government owns it. So if you don't pay your taxes, you got to make sure you pay your taxes. That's one thing I educate people, because it is your property. When you sell it, you do make money. But we got to make sure that they understand that they need to pay their stuff, right? They need to pay their taxes. A lot of times people are like, oh, I don't want insurance, I don't want taxes. And some of those communities that get affected the most are the ones in hurricanes and earthquakes.
Yes.
We don't have none of those things here other than blizzards. But we don't get as affected. We don't get as affected though by like those other states. You know what I mean? I feel that those other states don't see our market the way affected as much as theirs are, and that's where you see that growth.
Yes.
Both of you guys are seeing that growth in the state, and we're seeing more and more people move to Minnesota that are Latinos, which is nice.
Yes, we're growing.
So one thing that I want people to know is when you're paying your rent, you're paying 100% interest, and you're paying somebody else's mortgage, right? Somebody else is getting richer.
Yes.
And number two is, I was going to share a second a statistic. Every person that owns their home 2 years or more is 26% richer than the person renting.
Correct.
Imagine that. Imagine that you can empower not only yourself, but your family, and you can plant a flag and this is where I belong. This is mine. This is what I'm working for. I think it's very empowering for our community to have a place where they can call their own. Yeah,
exactly. And also know that it's an investment into themselves.
Correct.
Into themselves, because a lot of times they don't know that, right? They need to make sure that that's an investment that they're making, like you mentioned. And the more that they pay on it, the more investment they're making for themselves in the future. So Thank you so much, ladies. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much, everyone, for being and watching our guest speaker series. This is Valentin Consulting's YouTube channel guest speaker series. I'm Dr. Daisy Valentin, and we're so glad that we had these wonderful women here today to share their experience as bilingual realtors. And please like and subscribe so you can get the notifications of the next guest speaker that is coming. Do not miss out. Thank you and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.